Hello and welcome. Tonight you're invited into a quiet place most people never see, a place that only comes alive when the rest of the world has slowed to a whisper. There's no rush here, no noise to follow, only a gentle routine, a soft light, and a small detail that appears each night without asking to be explained. Settle in, breathe easily, and let the story unfold at its own calm, unhurried pace. It is already late when the building settles into itself, the kind of late that feels different from the rest of the day, not hurried, not crowded, just quiet and gently awake. The library stands with most of its lights dimmed, holding on to a soft glow that seems meant for night rather than day. Outside, the city has slowed. Cars pass only now and then, their sound distant and unimportant. Inside, the air feels still, carrying the familiar scent of paper, wood, and time. This is the hour when the night librarian begins their shift. Not a job many people think about, not one that gets mentioned often, but it exists, steady and patient, tucked into the edges of the night. The door closes softly behind them, and the sound fades almost at once. The building responds with a quiet hush, as if it recognizes the moment. Shoes move gently across the floor, each step echoes just enough to be noticed, then disappears. At the front desk, a single lamp is switched on. Its warm light pools across the surface, touching stacked books, a notebook, a pen resting exactly where it was left the night before. Everything is where it should be. Everything is waiting. The clock on the wall ticks in a slow, even rhythm. Not loud, just present, a sound that belongs here. The librarian takes a moment before doing anything else, a pause that isn't planned but always happens, a moment to breathe in the quiet, to notice how the building feels different at night, softer somehow, less demanding. Shelves stretch into the dimness, rows and rows of stories resting side by side. They seem calmer now, without hands reaching for them, without voices nearby. The library feels like it is resting too, though it never truly sleeps. Somewhere deeper in the building, a heater clicks on, then off again. The sound is familiar, almost comforting, like the place clearing its throat. This job is made of small moments like these, moments that don't ask to be remembered, moments that pass gently, one after another, without needing attention. That is part of why the night feels safe here. The librarian moves slowly, not because there is nothing to do, but because there is no need to rush. There will be time. There is always time during the night shift. Outside, the sky has settled into a deep, even darkness. Inside, the light remains soft and steady. Nothing unexpected, nothing pressing. And so the evening begins, not with an announcement, not with a reason, just with the quiet continuation of a routine that has learned how to wait. The first hour of the night moves quietly, almost without being noticed. It slips by in familiar motions that have been done many times before and will be done many times again. A computer is logged into, its screen casting a soft, steady light. The return bin is checked, one book at a time, covers cool and smooth beneath the fingers. Each book is placed where it belongs, not in a hurry, just carefully enough. Chairs are straightened where someone forgot to push them in before leaving. A table is cleared of a forgotten scrap of paper. Small signs that people were here earlier during the louder part of the day. Now those signs are gently put to rest. The night librarian moves through these tasks with an ease that comes from repetition. There is comfort in knowing what comes next, comfort in not having to decide too much. The work asks only for attention, not effort. This is a job most people never see. It happens after closing, after announcements, after the last footsteps fade. There are no questions to answer, no lines to manage, just quiet responsibility, carried without being noticed. The difference between day and night is felt in the body. Movements slow down, breathing follows its own calm rhythm. Even thoughts seem less crowded, as if they have learned to wait their turn. A book cart rolls softly across the floor, its wheels making a low, familiar sound. It never echoes for long. The building absorbs it, just as it absorbs everything else at this hour. Time feels wider here, not empty, just unhurried. Minutes stretch gently, allowing each task to finish before the next begins. Nothing interrupts, nothing demands to be rushed. As the first hour settles into place, the routine continues, steady and reassuring. The library holds its quiet, and the night opens further, ready for its slower moments to unfold. After the first quiet tasks are finished, there is time for a slow walk through the building. Not a patrol, just a gentle moving from one familiar place to the next. The history section comes first, tall shelves standing calmly in a long row. The books here feel steady and patient, as if they are used to waiting. Their spines catch the low light in soft, uneven ways. Nothing stirs, nothing needs attention. Further in, the fiction shelves curve slightly, creating narrow paths that feel smaller at night. Stories rest side by side, closed and quiet, as though they are sleeping. The air here feels warmer somehow, held between the shelves. The children's section is the quietest of all. Low shelves sit close to the floor, holding brightly colored covers that seem muted now. Tiny chairs are lined up neatly, their legs barely making a sound against the ground. It feels peaceful here, like a room that remembers laughter but is content with silence. As the librarian walks, the building makes its own soft sounds. A gentle creak from somewhere above, a distant hum from behind a wall. They arrive slowly, then fade, never sharp or sudden. The library breathes in its own steady way. There is comfort in these sounds. They are familiar, expected, proof that the building is alive in the way old, well-loved places often are. It doesn't feel empty, it feels accompanied. Being alone here does not feel lonely. The shelves, the floors, the quiet spaces between them offer a kind of company, reliable and unchanging, always here, night after night. The walk continues at an unhurried pace, steps soft and measured. The night stretches gently around the building, and the library rests within it, ready to hold whatever small details the next hours might quietly reveal. Soft with rhythm, something familiar comes into view. Not unexpected exactly, just quietly noticed. A reading table sits near the window, its surface smooth and clean under a small pool of light. On it rests a single book, placed neatly, open to the middle, as if someone had paused and intended to come back. It isn't the first time this has been seen. In fact, it has happened on several nights now. Always the same table, always one book. Never disturbed, never out of place. The book itself is different each time, sometimes thick, sometimes thin, sometimes worn at the edges, sometimes almost new. but it is always open, its pages lying flat, calm and unbothered. There is nothing unsettling about it, no sense that something is wrong. It feels gentle, almost thoughtful, like a quiet habit that belongs to the night. No one is meant to be here this late. The library is closed, the rooms are empty, and yet the book appears again, resting exactly where it was before. The librarian does not stop for long. There is no need to. The sight is simply taken in, the way one notices a familiar lamp left on in an empty room. The book remains on the table as the shelving continues. It waits without asking anything, and the night moves on, carrying this small detail with it, softly into the next stretch of quiet time. The sight of the open book is acknowledged and then gently set aside. There is no need to question it too closely. A brief thought passes through the mind. Someone must have been reading, someone who took care to leave the book just so. The idea lingers for a moment, light and untroubled. There is no urge to follow the thought further, no reason to look for answers. The night does not ask for explanations, and the library feels content without them. The book remains where it is, and the librarian returns to the quiet rhythm of work. Pages are shelved, hands move slowly, breathing stays even. Now and then the thought returns. Who might it be? Why that table? Why the care in leaving the book open? Each time the questions arrive softly, then drift away again. They are like background music, always present but never demanding attention. Easy to notice, easy to let go. The night continues in its steady way. Lights remain low, sounds stay gentle. The open book becomes just another part of the atmosphere, resting comfortably within the calm of the building. With nothing to solve and nothing to hurry, the routine carries on, leaving space for the mind to wander quietly as the hours move deeper into the night. Time continues to pass in small, steady ways, not marked by anything important, just by gentle tasks finding their place. Returned books are stamped one by one, the sound soft and familiar. A cloth moves slowly along the shelves, lifting a thin layer of dust that has settled during the day. Nothing needs to be perfect, just cared for. A warm cup is lifted now and then. The tea cools gradually, releasing a quiet, comforting scent. Each sip is unhurried, taken when it feels right. These moments invite reflection without asking for it. Thoughts about adulthood drift through easily, about choosing work that doesn't call for attention, work that exists quietly, without applause or explanation. There is a comfort in that choice, in being part of something steady, something that continues whether or not it is noticed. The open book remains somewhere in the building, unchanged. It hasn't gone anywhere, but it doesn't weigh on the mind either. It feels like company, a small presence that shares the night without needing to speak. Nothing feels unfinished, nothing feels pressing. The unanswered question rests gently alongside the routine, fitting into the rhythm rather than interrupting it. The hours move forward with the same calm pace. Hands continue their work, thoughts settle, and the night opens into a deeper, quieter stretch, ready to hold whatever simple traces of humanity it may quietly reveal next. Near midnight, another small detail quietly appears, not announced, just there, waiting to be noticed. While sorting a returned book, something slips free from between its pages, a small piece of paper, folded once, light in the hand. The writing is neat and careful. unhurried, the kind of handwriting that takes its time with each letter. It holds a simple message, a brief thank you, gratitude for the library being open late. There is no name, no explanation, nothing more than those few words. The note feels warm in a quiet way, like a voice that spoke softly and then stepped back. It carries no urgency, no need for response. The librarian reads it once, then again, slowly. The meaning settles without effort. Someone was here. Someone took comfort in this place during the quiet hours. The paper is smoothed gently and placed back inside the book. It feels like the right place for it, like returning a thought to where it began. Around the desk, the night remains unchanged. Lights glow softly, the building holds its calm, and the presence of that unseen reader rests easily within the room, becoming part of the steady stillness as the hours continue to move forward. The note brings a quiet understanding with it, not all at once, just slowly, as things often do during the night. The open books, the careful way they were left behind, begin to make sense. They were not mistakes, not accidents. They were small signs of presence, of people who came here seeking stillness rather than conversation. Some visitors need nothing more than a place to sit, a table, a book, a few uninterrupted hours. They leave without a sound, carrying what they needed with them, leaving only traces that are easy to miss. The realization does not arrive with excitement. It settles gently, like a warm layer of air. It adds something to the room without changing anything at all. The library feels fuller somehow, not louder, just shared. A space quietly offering itself to those who know how to use it gently. The night librarian holds this understanding without words. There is no need to act on it, no need to respond. It is enough to know that the quiet work matters, even when it is unseen. The thought rests easily in the mind, blending into the steady rhythm of the night, and as the hours continue, the building carries this warmth forward, holding space for both the present moment and the many quiet ones still to come. As the night moves forward, everything grows a little quieter. Not suddenly, just enough to be felt. Outside, the city rests more fully now. The distant sounds soften. Even the spaces between them seem wider. Inside the library, the air feels calmer, as if it has settled into its deepest comfort. Lights are dimmed one by one. Each change is small, barely noticeable, yet together they soften the room. Shadows stretch gently along the shelves. Corners fade into a peaceful stillness. The librarian moves through the space with the same unhurried care. There is no sense of being alone. Instead, there is a quiet awareness of others who have passed through during these hours. Readers who came for a moment of calm and left without disturbance. Each unseen visitor feels connected by the same understanding. Take what is needed, leave the space as gentle as it was found, no more, no less. The library holds these quiet exchanges without effort. It remains open in the way that matters most, offering stillness, offering time. The night deepens further, movements slow, thoughts soften, and within this shared calm, the hours continue their steady, peaceful passing. As the night moves closer to its quiet end, the librarian begins the final checks. Shelves are scanned one last time, returns are tucked neatly into place. Nothing is left out of order. The open book, which had rested on the reading table for hours, is carried gently back to its proper shelf. It slides into its place with ease, fitting quietly among the others. There is no need to keep the small mystery alive. Its presence has already offered something gentle, a quiet reminder of human care. The lamp at the desk is dimmed slightly, casting a softer glow across the workspace. The air is still, warm, and welcoming. Each corner of the library feels balanced and ready to rest. Every task is simple, steady, and complete. The routine itself has become comforting, a small rhythm that belongs entirely to this late hour. There is a sense of quiet satisfaction, not loud or bright, but soft and enduring. The building, the books, and the night all share this calm understanding. With the final tasks done, the shift begins to close naturally. The library waits patiently for the next quiet hours, and the night carries on in its steady, gentle way, leaving room for stillness and reflection. As dawn begins to hint at the edges of the sky, the librarian takes one last look around the building. Everything is in its place. Everything is at peace. The quiet work of the night has been completed without fanfare, without notice, yet with care that matters deeply. Some jobs exist only in the background. Some acts of kindness are never spoken of. They are small, simple, steady, and still they make a difference in the lives of those who pass through. The door is locked gently, the sound soft in the stillness. The key turns smoothly, and the building rests, waiting for another night. There is a calm satisfaction that comes from work done quietly and well. Outside, the first hints of morning settle over the city. The streets are slow and empty, and the air carries a gentle coolness. Inside, the library has returned to its own quiet heartbeat, unchanged, yet full of traces left behind by gentle human presence. Even in silence, meaningful things are being tended to. Even in the quiet, care exists. And that knowledge lingers softly, wrapping the night in reassurance, leaving the listener with a sense of calm and the comfort of a world quietly held together by thoughtful, unseen hands.